You have one of those colorful maps from our ticket office. You'll find Firestone Station at the bottom left. As we head around the village one more time this season. As you know, Greenfield Village is divided into 7 districts. Our first is Henry's Model T, where you can get a ride on a genuine Ford Model T car at the loading dock on the corner of Bagley and State Street, right here in Henry's Model T district. And that brings us to the birthplace of Henry Ford. Coming up on your left, it's the Ford Farm, built here in Dearborn, Michigan in 1861. Henry was born in that white farmhouse in July of 1863. He lived there with his parents and 5 brothers and sisters. And all the way to your left, that red building is the William Ford Barn. It's where we take care of all the horses we use every day here at Greenfield Village. Coming up next, it's our Main Street district. Here you'll find the Wright Brothers home and the Wright Cycle Shop, the birthplace of aviation. Across the street is the Cohen Millinery Shop for a fashionable new hat, ladies. And take a spin on our 1913 Herschel Stillman carousel. Entering our Edison at Work district, and just beyond the picket fence is Thomas Edison's Menlo Park complex, where Edison and his staff of scientists and engineers developed the very first practical incandescent light bulb. The Menlo Park complex is America's first research and development lab, responsible for such innovations as the microphone, the phonograph, and over 800 other patents. Also coming up on your left, that mustard yellow building is the Sarah Jordan Boarding House, where Edison's staff used to live. It's the first residential structure in the U.S. to be wired up for electric light. We're now approaching the gateway to our Porches and Parlors district. That's the Ackley Covered Bridge from 1832 in western Pennsylvania. Just beyond the bridge here is our next stop of the day, and that's Susquehanna Station. So folks, please stay seated till the train comes to a complete stop. The engineer will give a blast of the whistle. That means the air brake is set, and then I'll give you the go-ahead to exit on the left side only. Folks, please stay seated till you hear that whistle blow. Wait for the whistle now. And there's the whistle. It's safe to exit on the left. Seated while the train's in motion. Keep those arms and legs, and especially your heads, inside the rail car at all times. Please refrain from smoking, eating, or drinking anything but water aboard the Greenfield Village Railroad. And as we continue on now through our Porches and Parlors district, we're now passing the historic Susquehanna Plantation, built in 1825 in St. Mary's County, Maryland. It was owned by Henry and Elizabeth Carroll, a prosperous family who held lavish parties in that plantation house. Now compare that to the small red house next door. That's the Thomas Plimpton home. Thomas was an indentured servant. He lived in that small one-room house with his wife and 7 children. At the end of the road is our Daggett Farm, a living history farm from 1754 in Andover, Connecticut. Stop in and see how Samuel Daggett and the family lived and worked on the farm prior to the American Revolution. And we're now passing our horse paddock down here at Hawthorne Glade. When our horses need the day off, this is where we bring them. The locomotive at the head of our train today is our 1897 Baldwin. Good old Detroit and Lima Northern number 7. Henry Ford's favorite locomotive. He loved it so much he placed it in the Henry Ford Museum, where it was on display for over 50 years. They then moved it to our D&LN roundhouse, where they spent another 10 years completely rebuilding and restoring it. And now this is just the 11th season we've had it back on the tracks here in Greenfield Village. Old number 7 weighs in at 72 tons. So now, folks, let's take a few moments to sit back and relax and enjoy the sights and sounds of railroading as it was in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Hundreds of trees have been planted and the waterways cleaned and cleared. And wildlife has returned with a herd of deer and many smaller animals as well, like rabbits, squirrels, and turtles. Birds, too, like green and blue heron, egrets and Canada geese, and a big flock of wild turkeys. Now entering Walnut Grove on the backside of our Porches and Parlors district, where we hold many of our special events throughout the year. And in October, it's the scariest special event of the year. It's Halloween here at Greenfield Village. Throughout October, the village will be filled with ghosts and ghoulies and goblins, and great scary fun for trick-or-treaters of all ages. And the Halloween Express will be out, giving a spooky ride around Greenfield Village. Now, it all happens in October, and it all starts Thursday night. Halloween here at Greenfield Village. Off to your left, it's the Henry Ford Academy. Henry Ford Academy is a charter school here in Wayne County. Students attend for free, but are chosen by lottery. This portion of the campus houses the 10th, 11th, and 12th grades. 9th graders attend class at the Henry Ford Museum. Just up ahead, you'll see 3 attached rail cars that serve as classrooms for the senior class. Imagine that, going to class in a rail car. It's a rainwater catch basin. We use it for flood control here at the building. More importantly though, it's the home to Godzilla, one of the biggest turtles you'll ever see. They say that old boy's been swimming in these waters since 1929. Also on your left, at the top of the hill, a popular winning spot, the Martha Mary Chapel. Named after Henry Ford's mother and mother-in-law, Martha and Mary, of course. Coming up on the next stop of our journey, Smith's Creek Station. So folks, please stay seated until the train comes to a complete stop. The engineer will give a blast with the whistle, even air brake is set, and then they'll give you the go-ahead when it's on the left side only. Please stay seated, everybody, till you hear that whistle blow. There's the whistle.
Everybody have
And we're moving on now through Railroad Junction. And we're about to pass the historic Smiths Creek Depot. Originally built in 1858 in Smiths Creek, Michigan. That's about 8.5 miles southwest of Port Huron. Where as a boy, Thomas Edison worked for the Grand Trunk Railroad, selling treats and newspapers along the way from Port Huron to Detroit and back again. And that brings us to the heart of our Railroad Junction district. Off to your left is our Detroit, Toledo, and Milwaukee roundhouse, where we repair and maintain our 3 coal-fired steam locomotives. Originally built in 1884 in Marshall, Michigan, it was recreated here at Greenfield Village in the year 2000, using elements from that original building. Over on the other side of the roundhouse is our Liberty Craftworks district, where artisans and craftsmen create beautiful objects in glass and pottery, carding and weaving. There's a print shop, a sawmill, and so much more.
I saw the other person.
Well, folks, due to some repair work needed on our signal system, we have to do what we call a stop and proceed. So we're going to stop here for just a minute, then we're going to proceed.
You're gonna go. We just have to stop and look, just like when you wait at the stop sign for mommy. Yep. So the train stopped and looked.
Is he fresh strong? I said, do like a fresh strong.
The two toots of the whistle means we're back on our way again. And we're now entering our working farms district, and just beyond the red cider mill is the Firestone Farm, the birthplace of Harvey Firestone, Henry Ford's great friend, and the founder of the Firestone Tire and Rubber Company of Akron, Ohio. Firestone Farm is a living history farm. The farmhouse, built in 1828 in Columbia, Ohio. Our farm hands were out in the fields today using tools, implements, and techniques they used way back in the mid-1800s. My friends, on the way out tonight, don't forget the Greenfield Village store is open right beyond the main gate for those last-minute souvenir and gift ideas. The Greenfield Village store is open this afternoon till 5:30. Well, our final destination is in sight, Firestone Station and the front gate. So folks, please stay seated until the train comes to a complete stop. The engineer will give a blast of the whistle, meaning the air brake is set, and then I'll give you the go-ahead to exit on the right side only. Folks, please stay seated till you hear that whistle blow.